Hey, it's Barclay and Maxey. We're back with RockBoy Radio, season number 2, episode number, I have no idea.
I think 5 or 6.
Five.
Somewhere in there.
5 or 6. We are not sure. I'm going to skew towards 5, I believe.
Aldrich, Warren, yeah.
Number 5 coming at you, and dude, I'm pretty excited.
Dude, you've been begging for this guy.
Excited.
You've been begging for this shit.
I don't know about begging, but I'm pretty interested in it. Our guest today is Rachel Lorin, and it is Lorin. Don't be saying Lauren or anything. It's Rachel Lorin. That is the correct pronounce.
Pronounce?
Yeah.
Is that a Canadian thing too?
Rachel Lorin, for those of you that don't know her, which shame on you if you don't know her, is an up-and-coming female rocker.
Where'd you see her at?
I saw her at Rockfest last year, dude, which
That's
was
right.
the 4 or 5 day festival in Wisconsin that me and some buddies packed into an RV to go see. We get there, 8-hour drive. We're all ready to go. We have some beverages as soon as we get there.
Bevies.
It's still daylight. We walk into the festival. Faster Pussycat, Jack Russell, and Rat were supposed to come later that night.
Right.
But Rachel was one of the openers. We walk in and she was the first one that we saw there. And she was just killing a cover of Whitesnake's Still of the Night.
Yeah.
That hooked us immediately because she was killing it with an unbelievable female, awesome voice.
Lizzie Hale-esque? Is that what we're listening to?
Lizzie Hale-esque. And we looked at her and how do I put this? She has a very good stage presence.
Okay.
If you catch my drift. But that's not that important because she can just bring it from so many angles. And we were instantly hooked, and we literally talked about her the rest of the weekend.
Dude, it's so funny to me because we interviewed her before taping this intro, like we like to do, fuck things up here on RockBoy.
Yeah.
I've never seen you sweat so bad for a fucking interview in my entire life. Like, you were drenched after this thing.
Drenched may be overstating it by about 1,000%, but it had nothing to do with the interview. It had to do with your inabilities as a technical producer and all the shit show that you put us through with microphones that don't work and phone connections that suck balls. That may have had something to do with the tension.
I don't know, man. I think with this one, her phone connection, whenever we talk to people in LA for some reason, was she in LA when we were talking to her?
She was, if you go 180 degrees from LA the other way and go to New York City, I think that's where she was.
All right, well, perfect. I heard something about New York City connections too.
Anyway, whatever it was, we did not have the greatest connection, so we apologize for that. But
we had de Blasey clean it up, though.
We cleaned it up as best we could. There's still some great stuff in there. You can still make out what she's saying, and we'll get a cleaner
Is that the gold
with
standard now?
Point.
Is that the gold standard with us now, that we can understand what they're saying?
As long as we can pick up every 7th word, we're good. But
Vince Neil
she's an up and comer, and she's actually had some success throughout her career. As she started out as she's done acting and modeling, and she kind of went the pop way for a little while, music-wise, but then she just decided one day, look, I need to be a rocker.
Dude, girl in my class, the opposite of a rock fan. I showed her a picture of her. She knew who she was from some of those shows. And
oh, yeah?
Yeah, like theater stuff.
You know, we didn't ask her too much about this because, honestly, it's not really my thing. But what is it, like Disney, high school, musical
Dude, I saw you. What are you talking about? I saw you backstage with that High School Musical thing the other night.
Anyway, some Disney thing that she was a part of for a while, and she was on some reality show. I can't remember the name of it, on some A&E Oxygen.
I think it was on
E
Oxygen,
like
yeah.
Anyway, but all that stuff led up to her choosing one day, nope, I'm going to go the rock and roll route, and I'm going to kick some ass at it.
Dude, that's so funny, though. Like, you think of where the money's flowing, and it's not flowing in that direction.
Exactly, which makes the story even better. And the reason that she's going down this way, it kind of reminded me of Sean Drover when we talked to him. He's like, I don't give a shit. I just want to play metal. I don't care if 4 people are there or 4,000 people are there. I just want to do what I love to do, and that's play metal. And I kind of see the same with Rachel Lorin. She loves rock.
Is that your best Sean Drover right there?
That was my best Sean Drover. That was my best Sean Drover, and I did not do it justice, but
that's okay.
It is
that's
what
okay.
It is.
Yeah.
But she comes from, as you'll learn in the interview, she comes from a very rocking family that kind of put her on the right path, if you will.
Absolutely.
As a youngster, playing some really good stuff for her back in the day, and it kind of sunk in with her.
I think any new artist that wants to pursue this profession has to have some kind of background as a kid in it. I feel like it's so hard to get turned on to music unless somebody, in your family or your friends. It's hard to discover music these days, but she did it.
Especially that music when you're that age. I think she's in her early 20s.
Yeah. You wouldn't know anything about that, would you?
Yeah, I mean, you are definitely kind of not exactly the norm when it comes to
that's the truth.
Age in rock music nowadays, but it is good, and it's encouraging to know that when younger people do get exposed to it, that it clicks.
Absolutely.
And that's a real sign right there, a real indicator. So, yeah. I don't know, man. Do what you got to do.
Dude, let's just jump right into the interview. How about that?
Let's jump right in. Rachel Lorin.
Whoa. You broke your own rule there.
Broke my own rule.
Do it again.
Rachel Lorin.
There you go.
We're very happy to have her on and hope you enjoy the interview. It's a goodie. All right, Rachel Lorin, you are on RockBoy Radio with Barclay and Maxey. Thank you, Rachel, for taking the time with us today. Welcome to the show. We much appreciate it.
Hey, thank you so much for having me.
Where are you calling us from today, Rachel?
Today I'm in New York at home. I'm going to be gone soon on tour, so I'm enjoying my last few moments at home with my family until I'm off.
Yeah, you certainly put the miles on, don't you?
Yeah. It's a long one.
Well, I got to set the stage for Maxey here and the listeners. My buddies and I we actually went to Rockfest in Wisconsin this summer. We piled in an RV, drove all the way from St. Louis, about an 8-hour drive. Got there on the very first day, kind of that VIP first day, the preview day. And the very first performer that we see when we walk in on day one, when we arrive, was you. And I got to be honest, we had no clue who you were. But we walk in and we hear like this mega powerful female voice just absolutely crushing a cover of Whitesnake's Still of the Night. And Rachel, like, you knocked our socks off. Like, minute one, we were hooked.
Really? Thank you so much. That is really sweet. I mean, that was my first year doing it, and I mean, it was so fun. And I'm really glad you guys popped that. I'm glad I kind of popped your Rockfest cherry.
Oh, hey, there you go. You definitely popped that cherry. And from the minute I saw you, it was like, dude, we got to have her on the podcast. So that's how the whole thing came about. But like Rockfest was like so packed with like huge bands like Slayer, Megadeth, Rat, Rob Zombie, like everybody who's anybody was there. And I know you were there for at least a couple of the days because you performed on a couple of days there, a couple of different days. And I think I know the answer to this question, but like, what was the highlight of Rockfest for you?
You know the answer. Well, actually there were two, I think. Well, first of all, it was my first time performing at Rockfest. And again, I don't have a label or manager, nobody. And I was pretty blessed to be on that, first of all. Second of all, I was on every single stage, which was really, really cool. I don't think anybody gets to say that. And I mean, during the main stage on the kickoff day was pretty much the most amazing experience ever. I mean, I know it was at freaking 12 o'clock. I did have to wake up at like 7 and start warming up from the night before, but it was just so worth it and so amazing. That was definitely highlight number one. But highlight number two was singing with Rat, singing with Steven. He and I kind of started becoming like Twitter texting buddies, and we found out we were doing Rockfest together, and he said, you're more than welcome to actually come up with me if you'd like. And he started wearing my shirt, and I started wearing his shirt on the clothes. And then we get backstage, and he's wearing my shirt again at Rockfest. And I'm like dying laughing, like how the hell did this happen? How is Steven seriously wearing a Rachel Lorin shirt right now? But no.
Did he have to pay for that shirt, Rachel?
Go with him. No, he did not. Of course. I sent him the whole package of Rachel Lorin stuff after that one. But no, he asked me to close the show with him, and we did round and round, and there was a good couple thousand people, and it was really just, it was crazy. It happened so fast. It was one of those things where it's like any girl or guy's dream that loves rock to go with a legend on stage at one of the biggest rock festivals. It's really unexplainable, the feeling, and I wish it lasted forever, but it was gone in a second. But it was really amazing.
Yeah, it was gone in a second. I was right there as one of those 2,000 people, so it was pretty crazy to go from seeing you right when we walked in to doing your own thing to seeing you pop out as one of the encores there with Round and Round. It was pretty wild. And I know when I chatted with you very, very briefly at Rockfest when you did a little photo shoot with your fans, and you told me that you were buds. I think it was with Danny from Faster Pussycat, right? Tender?
Oh, he's awesome. Yeah, I love him.
Yeah, so we're like Maxey and I really
backstage actually. We were hanging backstage the whole rap concert, chilling and drinking beer together and watching, and it was great.
Yeah, Danny, he likes to put back the Budweisers for sure, but we're really big fans of Faster Pussycat here on RockBoy. So what was did you just meet him there, or have you been buds with him for a while?
So I'm not for a while. I met him this year actually on the Monsters of Rock cruise in February. I opportunity to sing with Bumblefoot and Tony Harnell and Joel from Whitesnake and all these amazing guys. And yeah, he was on there, and we hit it off. He's a great guy. Faster Pussycat was on there, so I kind of got friendly with Ace Johnson and Danny and everyone. They're just such cool guys. They're really cool guys.
Yeah,
I mean, they're killers. So.
Cool.
Right. So, I mean, I see a trend here, Rachel. A cover of Whitesnake, friends with Faster Pussycat, Stephen Pearcy, whoever. I mean, where did all that 80s influence come from you?
Oh, that's an easy question. My amazing mama. Who's sitting with me. Hi, Mom. She's sitting with me. She says hello. But no, she is a brilliant mother because she was smart enough to raise me as I was growing up with real music. And then she put on 80s, 70s and 80s records on all the time. She put on Led Zeppelin, Journey, Whitesnake, RSB Wagon, Foreigner, like all the really good classic rock bands. And yeah, Judas Priest. I mean, I grew up lucky with really, really wonderful music. However, I made the mistake of going into pop music thinking that it would be easier for me because a bunch of people said it would be. I was very unhappy, and I knew it was like just an empty life if I was going to continue it. And no, the last thing I did was record a song with Pitbull, and I was like, you know what, I can't do it anymore. And let's see, 4 years ago now, I've been doing rock music, and I've never been happier, and I'll never ever go away.
That is like you have the mother of all mothers. Like my mom was throwing out all of my Kiss albums in the trash when I wasn't looking. And, yeah, like you have the mother of all mothers.
But wouldn't that inspire you to rebel and listen more?
Yeah, absolutely, and it absolutely did just that. So too bad, Mom.
Yeah. I'm not the mother of all mothers. Yeah.
So we had, yeah, for sure. We had Sean Drover of Megadeth fame on a couple episodes ago, and I asked him, like straight up, dude, like, why on earth in today's environment would you want to leave that gig and start just out of the blue a new metal band, which he's got his new band, Act of Defiance. And it's like crazy hard out there, like such a weird, wacky environment for anybody trying to make it in the music business nowadays. But
it's really hard. I mean, any genre I'm beginning to find it's very hard. It's not just rock music. It's any genre. It's very hard to make it. There are a lot of people who are very talented and aren't with the right people, and then there are a lot of people who aren't talented with the right people. It's a game. It's not. There's no science to it.
So yeah, and you
kind of agitating for people that work hard, I guess.
Yeah, right. So like yeah, and that's what like Sean was like, dude, like I just want to play metal. Like I don't give a shit if anybody's listening or anybody cares what I'm doing or anybody likes it. I just want to play that, and that's exactly how it sounds like you with you, right?
Oh yeah, I'm on exactly the same page. And don't get me wrong, I love paying my dues, and I don't need a stadium. I really don't. I just did a tour not a couple of years ago, a year ago. That wasn't giant, and there were some shows there were barely maybe 2-3 people like in off markets, and we didn't care. We loved it. It's just fun to play. It's really, as long as you love music and you love what you're doing, it's not a job, and it doesn't matter how many people you're in front of. And I've talked to a lot of people, and including famous ones, and I quote them. They say they actually prefer performing in tiny clubs and big, big, big places for that very reason. It's just they can just enjoy themselves and not worry,
Right.
and it's intimate. And I get that. I totally get that.
Yeah, well, let's assume that you do want to eventually play in arenas and stadiums someday, because
I would love that.
the business side of the music industry is so interesting to me, and like marketing and branding and the growth tools that musicians can use to really build a following. Other than just getting out there and playing and playing and playing again, what is kind of like, when you sit down, like what's kind of your game plan to keep inching up and make it to the next level? Like, what's up your sleeve?
Well, it's on the down low, but I do have a record deal on the table now, finally. I can't say who yet, but I'm very excited about it, and they have all my favorite bands and all your favorite bands on their label. And I mean, that's already the next step. And I've had offers before, but I knew for myself that I wasn't ready, and I'd rather just, get a lot of stuff under my belt, such as touring and a bunch of songs and a record that made me happy. I don't want to rush into things where I won't be happy. So, and that's my advice to anyone, is don't rush, because you won't make it to the next level if you're rushing things, because you'll make mistakes along the way. So, no, but the next level is having management and having a label. And lucky, knock on wood, I got both, and I'm very, very excited about it. And also, I have a big tour coming up with Power Now Past 1000. We're leaving in a week from today, actually, so I'm very, very excited for that as well.
Well, I know a couple of guys who actually have tickets already for that tour when you come through St. Louis, so we will be there. We are looking forward to it for sure. Yeah, no, it's going to be awesome. I have seen, like, obviously I know what your music's all about. I've seen you live a couple of times now, but for anybody who's not familiar with your style of rock music, I've seen it, and I can't remember where, but I've seen it described as rock with European flair. I don't even really know what that means, but is that an accurate way to describe it? How would you describe it? And
It is accurate. The only reason I say European flair is because most of the songwriters I've been working with are either Sweden, Norway, other countries to get a different vibe. But I mean, I've worked with different writers, some Americans. So, I mean, some of my songs are very much just American frat rock, like good old American rock, like Hailstorm. And some of the music is way more intricate, like a Volbeat type sound, and more, I don't even know how to explain it. I don't really like to compare myself to anyone, because everyone's original, and I guess if I could put in throw a bunch of stuff together, I'd say Hailstorm, pretty reckless. Trying to think of Miles Kennedy.
okay, there you go.
I mean, I got a couple of different inspirations for my voice and my music, so yeah. I mean, I guess you'd have to just come to a show, because all my songs are really different. You'll definitely be taken on a ride, for sure.
Yeah, get to a show, Maxey. Come on, man. What are you waiting for?
I'll be there.
Yeah, I mean, how would you explain it? You saw some of it.
I would explain it as it's more than just the music for me. Like, it's such a great presentation on stage, and you mix your greatness, like your great songs, with covers, like, and just the whole package of it is what intrigued me and my buddies when we were there for the very first time. So it's just the whole presentation of it, the whole package that you put together on stage.
Thank you.
Yeah. So like, I don't like to separate male from female rock artists and go down that whole avenue. I mean, to me, good rock is good rock, but I have to admit, like, I have a thing for like female fronted rock bands. Like, there's just something different and unique and awesome about it. Like Hailstorm, I'm in This Moment, I'm in Rachel Lorin, I'm in, and for each of these, there's just that formula of like, looks great on stage, great presentation, and unreal voice, and you fit that formula, but in your own way. So tell us what kind of sets you apart from some of the other female artists.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my voice does set me apart from many of the girls out there, and I've been working. My voice is something I've been working at since forever. I've finally mastered a lot of stuff, and I'm still trying to discover it. But no, my voice is the main thing that sets me apart. It's my range, and the fact that a lot of people compare me to male metal singers.
Yeah.
It's no secret that I'm a high singer, a very high singer. So that does set me apart, and Lizzie Hale and I are I don't know too many other people that go that high, but that's definitely one. Two is I'm not super hardcore looking. I'm not into the tattoos thing and, shaving my head and and I'm not into,
Thank you.
All that stuff. Yeah, I mean, I'm not into like the cursing and songs. I was never into that. I actually love it on other girls because it fits on them. But I'm from Georgia. I'm kind of like Southern Beach sweetheart. I just was never into tattooing myself or cursing or, talking about sex all the time. I was never my thing, even though I love it on others because it fits them. It was never my thing. And that is definitely something that sets me apart because you think of rock music, you think of grunge, you think of sexy, dirty stuff. And really, if you meet me in person, I'm really not like that. And I put a persona on stage, but me as a person, I'm just not like that. And my music isn't like that. And I guess you'd have to listen to yourself to judge that, but that's another thing that does set me apart.
So who do I need to talk to make this Hailstorm and Rachel Lorin tour happen?
Oh, God, it would be my dream. It would be my dream. The first Hailstorm concert I ever saw, she was actually sick with pneumonia. She's at Terminal 5, and I was pretty much in awe because she knows how to troubleshoot and kick ass no matter what, and I was in the VIP section with a couple of really cool people, and we were like, what the hell? She's hitting all these notes and doing everything while she's packing up mucus on stage. So she's totally inspiring to me and probably all girls.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, speaking of that, like you have this big tour with Power Man coming up like we talked about. Is this like the biggest tour package you've ever done to date, do you think?
Yeah, so far. I mean, like, I've done one-offs. Like, I'm about to do a show with Dawkins. I've done Skid Row, Sebastian. I've done some really cool one-off shows, but I've never done an actual tour with a really, really big band. I mean, this will definitely be the biggest thus far tour. One-off shows have been, pretty big, but as far as touring goes and signing on, and I thank God I didn't have to buy on like a lot of artists do. Mm-hmm. They actually asked me to join them, and I was beyond ecstatic. I was like, I'll take that with no question. No problem, I'll be there. So, that's definitely the biggest one.
That's awesome. So do you like whip out the whole tour bus for this thing, or how does that work?
Yeah, usually we do a tour bus, but for this one, I'm a bit of a spoiled singer. I kind of really like hotels a lot, and I like to do my own thing and have privacy and shut the bathroom door and scream for hours to warm up. And I can't exactly do that on a bus, which is what I did on my last tour. But no, this tour I'm thinking we're gonna have a nice big Mercedes Sprinter type thing and just go hotel hopping. It's just kind of better that way. Everyone gets their space and privacy, and everyone gets a shout. It's like a whole world. People think buses are glamorous. They're really, really not. Oh, you can't poop on buses either, so you can poop at your freedom. So it'll be great.
Yeah, I think I'd have to do the hotel thing. Like when I become a rock star, I think I'm gonna have to do the hotel thing too.
Oh yeah, do the hotel thing. I can tell you, I can vouch for both, and the bus thing is cool at first because it seems like it's a glamorous thing, but it's really not. You're on bunks with a bunch of dudes, and again, you don't have to poop, and the shower water gets cold. It's really not that wonderful. So I'm in a hotel hop for sure.
Sure. I think this is like the first time the word poop has been dropped on our podcast, and you've done it 3 times now, so congrats.
I could do it, be a girl.
Yeah, exactly. We didn't plan for that one. Anyone who follows you on like social media will notice a very, very positive message that you portray. Like Maxey, when you like piss me off with a podcast related issue and I'm all in a bad mood, all I have to do is go and like read Rachel's latest tweet, and all of a sudden like birds are singing, flowers are blooming, etc., etc. Like it's so positive.
Every time I piss you off now, I guess I'll have to just pull up her Twitter feed then.
Are you really like always this happy, Rachel?
Well, I gotta tell you, there's so much crap and negativity going on in the world.
Yeah.
I'm really, really sick of it. And I don't want my page to be, an advocate for it. I really just want to be positive, upbeat, because every day people see not positive things everywhere on the news, anywhere. So anytime anyone goes to that page, I just want it to be uplifting and happy and have some good words of wisdom on there. As I'm really, really tired of things happening like what just happened in Vegas. It's horrible, and it's really unnecessary. And ambulance just drove by, right?
Yeah, I was like, wow, how ironic is that timing?
Yeah, how ironic. But no, I just want it to be a positive place for everyone, and no, keep it upbeat. I'm tired of everyone being so sad.
Yeah, no, it's good. You do very well on the social media. So, speaking of social media, I noticed that you played at the Whiskey a little bit ago in August, I believe. Was that your first time at the Whiskey? Was it your first time playing the Whiskey?
No, it wasn't. I did an ultimate jam night, which is what I did twice this past month. But I did the first time I went there. I got offered to do ultimate jam night. I did Immigrant Song with a bunch of really cool people. The guitarist from Lita Ford, AC Slade from Joan Jett and Misfits, and I got to jam with cool people. And then my own band performed the next day there, opening for Kill X, and then we went back and opened for Kim Soul. Okay. And no, I just went back and I was there just for business. I'm actually kind of shocked. I got asked back 2 weeks in a row for the ultimate jam night, and I got to jam again with really cool people. Those videos are on YouTube too, so
yeah, I've seen them.
Check them out. They're there.
Yeah, definitely check them out. I've seen them a couple times now, and really cool to see everybody come together and jam out some songs like that. And
it really
I've
is,
actually, I've been to that Ultimate Jam Night a couple of times, and it's so cool that everybody gets together and does that. So I'm sure I'm sure you gained a bunch of friends that night, but is it also a case where you gain a few kind of business connections too?
Oh yeah. That's the whole reason I went was for business. LA and New York are the best places for that.
What's kind of the next big thing on the horizon for Rachel Lorin? You mentioned kind of a record deal, but
yeah, signing a deal. It's going to be a full record deal, full album, and I have a lot of material I'll be releasing separately. But no, that's going to be a full album and music videos and all. It'll be like your regular record deal. It'll be very cool because they'll be putting me on festivals and big shows with big people because they have them on their label. So I'm really just ecstatic for that because that's something all artists wait for is the big record deal because they all know that's the help that everybody needs is the big and big people pushing around to get somewhere.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's awesome. Congrats on that, and
thank you.
Those folks at Rockfest got to have you back again for next summer. That's a no-brainer for them, right?
They want to have me back, Rockfest. Yeah, they do want to have me back next year. Yep. So I will be there. In fact, we should all go, do a road trip.
Yeah, there you go. All right,
in the RV.
Yeah, we all piled in. It was very memorable to say the least. Okay, so we always end our interviews with just a rapid fire kind of thing. I got 10 or 12 questions here. I'm just going to rapid fire, give me one or two word answers. If any of them just suck and you don't want to answer them, just say, Barclay, F you, I skipped that one.
Yeah, skip it. Okay.
All right, here we go.
Wish me luck.
Favorite venue to play?
The Championship and Whiskey Go-Go.
Yes, right answer. Favorite musical era, the 60s, the 70s, or the 80s?
Late 70s, early 80s.
Rachel, that wasn't one of the answers.
Whatever. I was being very specific.
You're making up your own answers here. Best part. Best part about being on tour.
Best part of being on tour. Meeting a bunch of new fans is really cool, but also the food. I love food. I really love eating, and we get to check out a bunch of different places. Yeah, I love food a lot.
There you go. Worst part about being on tour?
Oh, God, being stuck with a bunch of smelly boys. I love you guys. But yeah. being stuck with a lot of testosterone. Yeah.
Rock highlight of the year so far for you outside of Rockfest? Because we already talked about a couple there.
Outside of Rockfest? Oh, crap. Oh, man, that's hard because that's a really big one. Probably opening for Last in Line or my single hitting the charts, the Billboard chart.
Yeah.
Came in at number 39. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And by the way, Rachel, that's what we do on this podcast. We ask the tough questions. So stay with us here.
You guys are making my brain hurt. Oh.
Here's a tough one. Guacamole or peanut butter?
What? That's so different.
We like nutrition on this podcast, too.
Okay, guacamole.
I know the answer to this already, but how many tattoos do you have?
Zero. Good Lord. I have a birthmark, though.
Okay, close enough. We accept that. What band to you sums up rock and roll debauchery?
Oh, AC/DC. Oh, Guns N'
Really?
Roses.
Okay.
You guys are making my head hurt. Yeah. Okay.
We're almost done. You can go get some Tylenol.
Okay.
What's your favorite podcast?
Yours.
You fell into my trap. I love it. How many times have you seen the movie Decline of Western Civilization Part 2?
Never?
Wow.
Wait, what was it?
Never.
Never? You've never seen that movie?
No, I guess we have something to do.
Yes.
On the tour. Yeah.
Decline of Western Civilization Part 2. Watch it, and Barclay
Decline
recommended
of
it.
Western Civilization Part 2. What about Part 1?
Tell her what it is.
Well,
she doesn't even know what it is.
It's a documentary on music, but Part 1 is the punk years, and Part 2 is like the metal years of the 80s. You will absolutely love it.
Yeah, anything AC/DC, Guns N' Roses, I'm in.
Okay, well,
When you see that movie and you love it, just remember, Barclay recommended that for you.
Okay. I already forgot the title. What is it?
Decline of Western Civilization Part 2.
Part of Western Civilization. Okay, you're going to have to message me.
there you go.
I don't know if there's anything left after these options I'm going to give you, but if you weren't a rock star, an actress, or a model, what would you be?
A veterinarian. I love it very much.
Ooh, really? Horses, Clydesdales?
Yeah.
There you go, Barclay.
Oh, Clydesdales. Yeah, quarter horses. They're all amazing. Yeah, I love animals in general.
You're talking to a guy who sells Clydesdales around the country. When you come to St. Louis, you
Come and see our
Sell
Clydesdales.
Clydesdales?
Yeah.
I'll be there in like an hour. Oh my God.
Field trip.
Okay.
Field trip in
I
St.
met my
Louis.
match. Okay. Great.
The best TV show ever is
Friends. I watch it day and night.
Your Life Will Be Complete When You Tour With.
When I tour with, give me a minute. Oh, Volbeat or Avenged Sevenfold or Metallica. My life would be complete then. Very complete.
Favorite Guns N' Roses song?
Oh, favorite Guns N' Roses song? I'm not going to say Sweet Child of Mine because that would just be so cliche.
Yeah, too
Paradise
cliche.
City I really love. Welcome to the Jungle I really love. November Rain I really love. Those. I can't think. Don't make me think.
Favorite hockey team? You only get one answer for this one.
Rangers. Sorry.
That's the wrong answer, but we'll.
I know it is. I'm sorry.
Have you?
I'm sorry. Hockey season is among us. I have to.
Exactly.
We love it. Have you ever done an interview with a guy named Barclay before?
Never. I was thinking about getting a dog and naming him Barclay, though. Is that
Getting what?
getting a dog and naming him Barclay? Does that count? And I was also actually thinking about naming it Max, too. That's so funny. So it was both in my list of dog names. So you guys are both in there.
Yeah, it's me and a bunch of dogs running around. There's all your Barclays out there. Well, Rachel, you survived rapid fire, and I can't thank you enough for being on with us today. Yeah, barely. We're gonna let you go. We don't want to take up your whole day here, but let everybody know. Well, first of all, everybody get out and check out the song Revolution because it is absolutely amazing. And Rachel, let everybody know where to find you at.
Yeah. I mean, I'm on Facebook. I just bugged down and got a Snapchat. I'm on Twitter. Instagram is where I do most of my posts, and Facebook too. It's all Rachel Lorin, Rachel Lorin. On Instagram, it's Rachel Lorin Official. On Facebook, it's Rachel Lorin, and I have another page, Rachel Lorin Music. I have a website, RachelLorinMusic.com, and Twitter is R Lorin Official, and Snapchat is R Lorin Official. And I follow everyone back. I love keeping up with everyone. So,
Perfect.
If you want to say hi, say hi.
Yep, go say hi and definitely follow her on Twitter for those very positive, uplifting messages every day.
Yay. Yeah.
Rachel, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Best of luck out
Thank
there.
you.
We will see you in St. Louis with Power Man 5000. Everybody go check out that
That
tour.
sounds good.
And just keep doing what you do, okay?
Thank you so much, guys.
All right, take
Thanks,
care.
Rachel. Boom. There it is. First female guest ever, RockBoy Radio, Miss Rachel Lorin. Once again, we want to take the time to thank her for joining us on the show. Sorry for taking the week off, guys. A couple different audio things came up. We're trying to clean this interview up as much as possible. Hopefully we'll get to interview her in person. You're coming up in St. Louis pretty soon. We'll see, though. We'll see. It's up to her. Hopefully she liked her time on here. As always, follow us on at RockBoy Radio. No, not RockBoy Radio. What the fuck am I talking about? At rockboy.podbean.com. Like us on Facebook /RockandDrew Show. Instagram, Twitter, at RockBoy Podcast. Check back next week for a different guest. As always, we'll have another guest for you. Other than that, RockBoy Radio.